Butch Stearns is with me now, and clearly a ton to talk about, and most notably, starts you with the blanket question. Do you think they should play this game tomorrow night?
No. For lots of reasons, and I'll be very brief. Health and competitiveness. For health reasons, we all know the incubation period of the virus. Just look at last week, what happened with Tennessee and Pittsburgh, and this could be happening. Do you think there's some Patriots players who really are questioning making this trip? They're not going to stop Bill Belichick from doing it, but I say no for health reasons.
I say no for health reasons primarily because you referenced it. I thought you were going to finish the thought this way. The Titans are consistently getting more positive tests.
Right.
So what you're doing is you're putting your team conceivably in a position where they're going to be on a plane, and I know they're trying to separate the 20 who've been in close contact with Cam Newton, and then the rest are going to go on the other plane. But God forbid they get a series of positive tests today or tomorrow before the game. Then what do you do? And you're already on a plane and you've subjected these guys to being in close proximity to each other?
I'll tell you what I feel strongly about. We're not doctors, we're sports guys. So let's talk about the competitive part of it. They should play this game at the end of the year. Would you rather play this game with Brian Hoyer or Cam Newton? You postpone this game till the end of the year, right? We'll get to Cam in a second. And Cam might not even miss a game, Tom. He might play against Denver.
Yeah, explain that, because we were talking about that, and that was not my understanding. Basically, in the world, they tell you if you test positive for COVID-19, you're basically out for 14 days. What are you hearing?
Mike Reese emphasized this morning, and I read it in several articles before. The NFL rule is simple. If you show no symptoms and you test positive, 5 days later, if you have 2 negative tests within a 24-hour period, if you have no symptoms, if you're asymptomatic, you can come back. That's Wednesday for Cam Newton. Enough to get him ready for the Broncos? I would think. If he shows symptoms...
Enough to make the rest of his teammates feel comfortable. Let's talk about the real issue there.
Okay,
I mean, if you're an
I'm just telling you the NFL rules. You can argue with Roger Goodell.
You're going to stand in the huddle and be okay, Cam, breathe all over me.
Let me finish the thought. If he does show symptoms, it's 10 days, which would be next Monday, so he would miss the Broncos game.
Well, okay, so can we also talk about the fact that Brian Hoyer is the choice? What does this say about the fact that, Jarrett Stidham was the chosen one? He was the one they were going to hand the reins to. He beat Brian Hoyer for the backup job, by the way, last year, and Brian had to spend a year in Indianapolis before he came back here. And now all of a sudden Brian Hoyer's the guy. What has happened to Jarrett Stidham?
Well, that's a different question. Let me tell you how I feel about Brian Hoyer taking over. I feel pretty good, despite the fact that he's 0-10 in his last 10 starts. Here's the answer to a trivia question, Tom, and by the way, let me give credit to Matt Vitor on Mass Live. Do you know the last starting quarterback to have a winning record for the Cleveland Browns? Brian Hoyer, 10-6. It was 6 years ago. But that is an unbelievable question. Look, break glass in emergency. This is an emergency. I like Brian Hoyer in this situation.
I'm going right back to my question. What's up with Jarrett Stidham?
I have no idea.
What has happened?
We don't have time in this segment for that.
All of a sudden, he is not the choice. That is a story. The fact that he is not the choice and that Brian has come in here. What would have happened if Cam Newton wasn't available? Would they just started the season with Brian Hoyer as the quarterback?
Let's go back to this sports question. How do the Patriots beat the Chiefs with Brian Hoyer as their quarterback tomorrow night?
Keep away. Take the game film from Super Bowl 25 when the New York Giants kept the ball away from the Buffalo Bills and do exactly what they did. So just pound it, pound it, pound it, keep the ball away from the Chiefs and try to keep their offense off the field.
Clearly, if they somehow win this game, it's got to be, if not number one, Bill Belichick's most impressive regular season win ever, right?
I'll give you that.
I mean, I'm trying to think off the top of my head, and I'm not coming up with anything. Look, I just, for a bunch of different reasons, I wish they weren't playing this game. If it was at the end of the year, it's going to have playoff implications. You push, there's going to be other games that are going to be postponed. I just wish they weren't playing this game.
We're going to talk more NFL. I thought of one where they took the safety in Denver, came back to win. That was a pretty cool win.
That was impressive.
That was a pretty cool win.